Welcome back to the Crypto Plebs channel. It's your boy Jumpman Crypto. I hope everybody's doing great today. So we had some pretty big news in the markets today with Trump possibly easing off tariffs. And obviously that's going to have a positive reaction for the stock markets and crypto markets. And then we have Trump Media Group partnering with crypto.com for a partnership with ETFs that are going to be consisting of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Kronos token, XRP, and Solana. So those are pretty good news for those tokens. And then also, guys, I wanted to talk to you about a partnership that we just landed with the channel with Phemex. Phemex is another platform that I use to buy crypto and also a platform that I use to do leverage trading. And for you guys that don't know how to leverage trading, I suggest that you guys join a group that specializes in teaching these things. I always like to also emphasize that if you guys don't have great risk management, that you guys should always be making sure to use that all the time when you do trade like that. I do not condone in anybody ever leverage trading that does not have the basic fundamentals in trading to open up an account and start trading. But it's a great thing to learn once you pick up these skills and a good way to make money when the market is very volatile. Anyways, I wanted to talk about some tokens. We're going to talk about Bitcoin, uh, Link, XRP, and AVAX. And I just wanted to go over some price levels with everybody. It's been a while, guys, but I like to touch base with you guys and, when I have the opportunity to talk to you guys to, you know, give out some levels and just give out some good alpha, help the groups out. So let's get down to business. So first things first, AVAX has been looking real nice over these last few weeks. AVAX had that pretty big, nasty drop off from where it was from last year, just like every other token, had that 67% drop off, 72% drop off. I'm sorry. And since then, it's been pretty much been beaten down like everything else. But ever since they had that World Liberty Fi purchase, it seems to be trying to get its next leg up. So if you guys were buying at that $15 zone, congrats. And I know there's some people that are looking for a good entry. I would start paying attention to this trend line here, guys. If it breaks that $21 mark, it should probably come down to this red box in the first target area between $20 and $19.50. And if you guys are just trying to get a little bit more of a safer entry, I would suggest maybe trying to pick up at the target 2 area between 17 and 16.90 for an entry on AVAX. I've gone over AVAX a lot in the channel, guys. If you guys are looking for more in-depth, TA or just the fundamentals, I suggest you guys to join the group. We can go over those kind of things. I just wanted to give some levels here for you guys that are looking for these things in the short term. Then also Chainlink. Guys, Chainlink is a beast. I know a lot of people like Ondo. Ondo's a new kid on the block, but guys, Chainlink is an OG cryptocurrency. And ever since it got that, partnership with World Liberty Fi, it's been starting to hopefully make a turnaround. But, we got a little bit of a bearish pattern on this thing. I think this is a falling wedge. And, I don't say that these patterns always play out, but, if you guys are looking to buy in on Chainlink, I'd probably be looking to maybe pick up around this 50 to $13 zone. And then, if you're trying to look for that safer bet, to hit it down this target 2 area zone of 1246 to 1193. And hopefully we can get back up to that local high of $30 and then has a previous all-time high of $44. But Chainlink is always going to be one of my favorite tokens. It's a BlackRock favorite. It's, if you guys are into RWAs and tokenization, Chainlink is going to be a leader in that. And then let's talk about good old XRP, everybody's favorite token. Guys, like I tell everybody, I was buying in the 50 cents, 60-cent zone. So, at these prices, I'm not really going to be picking up anything. But if you guys are looking for something short term, or if you guys are looking for, an entry spot and you guys are not really concerned about, the perfect entry, I would probably wait to see if it comes back to the first target area of 230. And possibly, 225 to 220 would be your better zone. If something started happening where, we went to bearish, we had a pretty big sell off, you want to probably hit back at these 215, which would be about a 17% drop off from there. Guys, again, I don't want to beat a dead horse. The best time to buy was down here, but I know a lot of times, when we get down to these levels, yeah, it's just people get concerned and they start worrying about, if it's going to keep going down further and further and further. But, you know, I don't know if it's going to go down here again, but we just got to see what happens. But, if you want to set some holy grail, buy orders down there, do your thing. I ain't mad at you, but, I think right now XRP and a few other tokens are chosen. This thing has been pretty much strong at these levels, so I don't see it coming down there unless something really bad happens. Even with this whole tariff stuff, it's been pretty much holding really tough in this area. So, I would want to say that I think it's unlikely we go down here again, but I could be wrong, and I'm happy to be wrong. And if I am wrong, I will be buying really heavy at these levels. And then, look, let's go and talk about the big daddy of them all, Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the star of the show. If Bitcoin takes a poop, all these coins are going to go down. That's just a fact. It doesn't matter if it's XRP. It doesn't matter if it's Ondo, Cardano, whatever. None of these coins are immune to what Bitcoin, is doing. And so Bitcoin also has a bearish pattern forming a rising wedge, but just remember, guys, a lot of times these coins don't, a lot of these patterns really don't play out. They just fire these indicators, and I like TA, but I don't always go by it. I just use it kind of as a resource to see what the indicators say, and I go by market sentiment. And, right now, I still feel like we're in neutral zones. I think we still are likely to make another retest up to, this 90K zone again. I think this is going to be a zone that we need to watch out for, this 92 and 95K zone. And we just got to see where we go from there. Regardless what anybody says, we must get above 92K and close above that level to confirm that we are going back up into an uptrend. That's just a fact. Could we go back down? Of course. I think that, some levels that we do need to make sure that we are paying attention to is going to be this 83K zone. I would like to think that this zone right now would be considered a pretty good line in the sand here. But, look, a little bit of bearish news or any type of bad data that comes out this week could most definitely send us lower. Could we go back down to visit the 77K zone? Of course, anything happened, but I think that, for the most part, I'm going to go on a limb and say that I think this whole tariff stuff is nonsense. I think that, Trump just wants to negotiate, a better deal. I don't want to get too political on this channel because I think that, especially now, politics are a very touchy subject, but unfortunately, they have invaded the crypto markets, and we do have to talk a little bit of politics right now. So if you guys aren't into that, I do apologize. But my thoughts and what I've always thought is that Trump could be purposely trying to crash the markets to get Jerome Powell to cut interest rates, or he's just trying to renegotiate these trade deals. The first one I think is probably a little unlikely because depending on how hard these markets crash, there's not a for sure, thing that these markets can rebound quickly. And, with midterms coming up, I'm not saying they're around the corner, but, it takes time for markets to recover. It takes time for jobs and these new deals that he's making with these foreign countries to bring in other jobs. It takes time. And if the markets are going through a major collapse and we head into midterms with these type of reconstructions of the market, I think that would not swing in favor for the Republicans for a midterm election. And I could be wrong, but I just think that's unlikely. So I do think that he's playing chicken with the Federal Reserve and also other political and other global entities other than the United States. So I just pray that look, at the end of the day, all this stuff works out. I'm not an economist and I don't truly know what he's doing, and neither does any of the biggest YouTubers on YouTube know either. So all we kind of do is just make a guess, hope for the best, or you can just hodl and just DCA if your tokens go down. It's very simple. I think that, sometimes we try to overthink things a lot, and we end up probably making the wrong decision most of the time, and it doesn't work out in our favor. But this is what YouTube's for, and this is what content creators are for, guys. But we'll see what happens, guys. I just wanted to make a video to touch base with you guys and let the partnership that we got today with Phemex. Again, look, I'm not the best trader in the world. I'm not going to pretend to be. I use Phemex for a lot other things than just, leverage trading. There's some tokens that are on there that are not on other exchanges that I use. So I've never had any problems with them, and I will make sure to leave a link below, and let me guys know what you think about that. But also too, I wanted to talk to you guys about the Crypto Plebs Discord. We are going to be closing off the free side soon. We have a lot of people that have been joining, and we do appreciate that. But we do want to start to focus more on the paid side of the group now that we are starting to gain some traction. And we just hope that you guys can, show a little bit of support. Our prices for the memberships are very reasonable. There's nothing that is out the ordinary. Think the memberships start off as as much as a cup of coffee, and they range down to the size of a Big Mac meal. So I try to be understanding, and uh, I try to be mindful of the markets that we are in today financially. I don't think that right now I'm offering anything groundbreaking other than just giving basic TA, and we have a few good gems in there that low caps that we're gunning for. But right now I'm more focused on just building a support group with a good community, and having the right type of moderators in here that are just helping people with that are getting into crypto, and trying to find a family that will help them out. And if you guys are looking for a more established family, I would also recommend the Keenan Grace channel. I am a crown trader there, and I just want to give a quick shout out to Keenan Grace. I'm a crown trader there, and I am very appreciative and grateful for everything that he's done for me. I have been blown away with just the love and support that this group has shown to me. I used to watch him as a when I was younger, when I was working in the kitchen, just always thinking to myself, man, I idolize this guy so much, and now I'm on his team, and it's surreal, man. I'm very appreciative to that, and I just wanted to give him a shout out for that. But guys, look, I'm gonna kill the video off. I wanted to touch base with you guys and just give a little bit of basic TA for you guys. Look, I'm not the best, but I've been pretty spot on with some of the calls that I've been calling in the Discord. And if you guys have been feeling me, and you like what I've been doing, guys, drop me some love in the comments. And just remember, guys, for all you guys that are on the sidelines waiting for the perfect entries, like my boy Young Jeezy said, time waits on no one. You got to make a decision, guys, if you're going to be in the market or out the market. Things start turning around quickly. We can start seeing all-time highs within a couple months. You'll be waiting, for the next cycle. So I'm going to kill the video off, guys. Links will be below to Phemex, to the Patreon, and to Keenan Grace's Discord. I hope you guys are blessed. Holla at your boy. Deuce.